Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you couldn't imagine them lying to you? I did. For 10 years, I believed my husband was the most honest man I had ever known. My name is Sarah, and for a long time, I thought I had the perfect marriage. We lived in a beautiful house. We had stable jobs. Our friends often told us we looked like the happiest couple they knew. Every anniversary, my husband Daniel would post pictures of us online with long captions about love and commitment. Everyone admired us. But sometimes the people who look happiest on the outside are hiding the darkest secrets. And I was about to discover one that would change my life forever. It started on an ordinary Tuesday evening. Daniel came home later than usual. Nothing strange about that. His company had been busy for months. At least that's what he always told me. When he walked through the door, he smiled, kissed my forehead, and asked how my day had been. Everything seemed normal, but something felt different. Maybe it was the way he avoided eye contact. Maybe it was how quickly he grabbed his phone whenever it buzzed. Or maybe it was simply a feeling deep inside me. A feeling I couldn't explain. That night, while we were watching television, his phone lit up again. I wasn't trying to snoop. I wasn't looking for trouble. But the message appeared on the screen. And one sentence caught my attention. I miss you already. My heart skipped a beat. Daniel immediately grabbed the phone and locked the screen. Too quickly. Much too quickly. I tried to ignore it. I told myself there was a reasonable explanation. Maybe it was a coworker. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe I was overthinking. But once doubt enters your mind, it becomes impossible to silence. The next few days felt different. I started noticing things I had ignored before. The late nights. The secretive phone calls. The sudden business trips. The way he smiled at his screen when he thought I wasn't watching. Each detail seemed small by itself. But together, they painted a picture I didn't want to see. A picture of betrayal. Still, I refused to jump to conclusions. I loved my husband. I trusted him. And trust isn't something you throw away because of suspicion. So I decided to talk to him. One evening during dinner, I casually asked about the message. The one that said, "I miss you already." For a split second, fear flashed across his face. Then it disappeared. "Oh, that," he laughed. "It's from a coworker. She's dramatic with everyone." The answer came too quickly. Almost rehearsed. But I nodded. I wanted to believe him. I desperately wanted to believe him. Unfortunately, the truth doesn't disappear just because we choose not to see it. Over the next month, things became worse. Daniel grew distant. Sometimes he seemed physically present but emotionally somewhere else. When I talked, he barely listened. When I asked questions, he became irritated. When I tried to spend time together, he suddenly had other plans. The loneliness was crushing. I felt like I was losing my husband while he stood right in front of me. Then one night something happened that changed everything. Daniel was taking a shower. His phone was charging on the kitchen counter. Suddenly it rang. The caller ID wasn't saved. Just a number. I ignored it. Then it rang again. And again. 3 times in less than a minute. Something inside me told me this wasn't normal. Before I could stop myself, I picked up the phone. I didn't answer. I simply looked. And that's when I saw dozens of messages. Messages from the same number. Messages stretching back months. My hands started shaking. I opened one conversation. Just one. And my entire world fell apart. There were heart emojis. Romantic messages. Private jokes. Photos. Plans for weekends. Plans for future vacations. Plans that didn't include me. I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller. My chest tightened. My vision blurred. The man I loved, the man I trusted, the man who promised to spend his life with me, had been living a second life behind my back. I felt sick. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted answers. But Daniel walked into the kitchen before I could process what I had seen. The moment he noticed his phone in my hands, his face turned pale. Neither of us spoke. Not at first. The silence felt endless. Then he sighed. Not with guilt. Not with regret. With annoyance. As if I had inconvenienced him. And that hurt even more. Finally, I asked the question. How long? Daniel looked away. About a year. 12 months. 365 days of lies. 365 days of pretending. 365 days of betrayal. I thought hearing the truth would bring clarity. Instead, it brought more pain. Because the next thing he said shattered me completely. It wasn't supposed to happen. Every cheater says that. But then came the sentence I never expected. The problem is, there's something else you don't know. I stared at him, my heart racing. What does that mean? Daniel hesitated. For the first time that night, he looked genuinely nervous. And what happened next would reveal a secret far bigger than the affair itself. A secret that had been hidden for years. A secret capable of destroying everything. And as Daniel slowly opened his mouth to speak, I realized my nightmare was only beginning. What he was about to tell me would change my life forever.